Hi guys, and welcome back to my audiobook family. I'm gonna situate at the same time as I talk, so let's not, this isn't too distracting. Don't know why I'm talking like this. Probably because I'm getting ready for Ali's part. Actually, I think we're on Jace's, but all the same, welcome back. Welcome back. I wonder if I just did this one time. If I talk like this, I wonder if some of you would actually think I have a British accent. Or do I have a British accent and I just talk in an American voice? Well, it's more of an English if you want to be completely precise, but anyway, it is raining outside, so I had to get my wellies out, and it was just, I don't know why I don't talk like this. I bet you if I talked in an English accent, more people would join because everyone likes the English people. So, do you believe me that I'm English? Well, I wonder if any of you, I don't know, I like to practice voices, so I'm sure all of you are just confused. I could be Irish for all you know, and I just pretend that I have an English and American accent. Alright, I don't know. I lost my place. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I think we're on 25. And it's raining, so I hope it's not too loud. Okay, chapter 25. Okay, American voice now. Chapter 25, Ali. Page 202, okay? This is again Tone Deaf by Olivia Rivers. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad that you've come this far in the book, or maybe you're pressing on this one randomly and you need to go back to the other chapters. Anyway, welcome back to my audiobook family, and let's just get right into it. Allie. I pad down the short hallway, using one hand to rub sleep out of my eyes and the other to rub my cramped neck. After I woke up from my nap last night, I tried staying awake until Jace came back from his concert, but I gave up around 3 in the morning and crashed on the couch. It didn't quite seem right to sleep in Jace's bed without him there, but now I'm regretting the couch. My neck muscles feel like someone's ruining them out. I'm not really sure where Jace went to. He's probably with one of the other band members, or maybe still out partying. That's what rock stars do after a performance, right? They party wildly. It's strange thinking of Jace doing that. He's so tightly wound. I can't picture him at a party at all. I jump in surprise as I step in the kitchen and find I'm not alone. Jace leans against the counter munching on a toaster waffle as he peers down at his smartphone. I have no idea when he got back, although it was probably pretty recently because his eyes are bleary and dark with exhaustion. But he must be in a good mood if he's willing to eat something as unhealthy as a waffle. Even though I'm sure it's whole grain and low fat. Jace waves at me with the hand holding the waffle, takes a bite out of his breakfast, and then goes back to typing on his phone. His hair flops in his face, and as he brushes it away, I realize with a touch of surprise that it's the first time I've seen him with his hair unstyled. Usually it's in a fox hawk, but now it hangs loosely around his face. It's kind of cute like this, with the tied dips almost reaching his chin. I didn't picture his hair that long, did you guys? I was not picturing it that long. Maybe it is. I mean, almost touching his chin? He's a pretty high fox hawk, man. The smartphone is the same one I've seen him with before, only now it has a bright pink case. Huh. I didn't take Jace to be a pink guy. Jace takes a couple more seconds, then winks. Catch, he mouths, and tosses the phone at me. A yelp strains my throat, and I hastily snatch the phone out of the air right before it hits the ground. I glare at Jace, showing him the full brunt of my annoyance. What if I had dropped the thing? There's no way in heck I could have ever paid him back. Then I noticed the phone has a little purple present bow. Then I noticed the phone has little purple present bows stuck all over the back of it. I blink a few times, sure they were going to disappear any second. They don't. I flip it over. I glance at the screen and find that it's open to the contact page. There are only 5 programmed in it. Arrow, Beckett, Jace Beckett, Kilimanjaro Johnson, and John McKinley. My breath catches as I read the 5th entry. Avery Summers. Clutching the phone to my chest, I turn to Jace. This is for me? He smiles, and it's an unrestrained expression that wipes the tiredness straight off his face. Killer grabbed it for you on his day off. We don't want you to have to strain to lip read all the time, so we figured this would make things easier. I was just programming in the numbers you'll need. You'll have to add in Avery's yourself, but I'm guessing you probably have it memorized anyway. I nodded dumbly. Thank you. There are probably a dozen other things I could say, but none of them even begin to express my relief and gratitude. So I don't even try. I miss Avery more than I ever imagined, and my fingers are already itching to send her a text message. Jace chuckles at my expression and signs, I'm glad you like it. I rush over to him and throw my arms around his neck. As always, he stiffens at first, and it takes him a moment to relax. When he does, he hugs me back, pressing me close to his chest. He kisses my forehead and smiles at me. I blush and look down. Again, that seems to be my unconscious reaction to anything sweet Jace does. Blush and look away. I wonder if I'll ever break that habit. Jace tips my chin up, his own habit, and gently strokes my cheek with the back of his hand. I'm leading again today, he murmurs, but he's staring right into my eyes and doesn't seem all that focused on his words or our conversation. I take it as a chance to more closely examine his eyes. I think they're really the only gorgeous part of him. The rest of him is handsome and masculine, but his eyes are so expressive, and with his thick eyelashes framing them, they're beautiful in the best of ways. I lean into Jace and press my cheek against his soft cotton shirt, realizing I have a conversation to finish. Where are you going? Some local festival that's happening downtown. Arrow and I, Arrow and Killer wanted to check it out, and I said I'd come. Vibrations run through the floor, and I glance down at the hallway to see who it is. Killer waves as he approaches us, his typical dorky grin on his face. You like it? He asks, pointing to the phone. Still in my hand, I return the grin. I love it. Killer pulls me away from Jason and into a tight hug. I feel slight vibrations in his chest as he chatters away, but as usual, he doesn't seem to notice or care that I can't read his lips while I'm smushed up against him. He finally releases me and holds me at arm's length. Sorry you can't come with us today, he says. You must be going crazy being cooped up in here. I hold up the phone. I've got this to keep me entertained. I'll be fine. Jace raises his hands and signs. I'll put my personal cell number in your contacts, so if anything happens while we're gone, just call. Thanks, I sigh. But I'll make sure nothing happens. I'm just going to keep going though. Jace nods and offers an encouraging smile. I'm sure you'll be fine. No one should come in here while I'm gone. Killer glances between us, a perplexed look on his face. He looks kind of like a lost puppy dog, with his head tilted to the side and his brows furrowed in confusion. You guys are making me feel left out with all this code talk, he says. It's not code, I protest. It's ASL. You've got a freaking code name for it. How is that not code? Despite his words, there's an amused glint in his eyes, and I know he's just teasing. Oh, that's right. She can't even hear their expression in their voices, so she has to go by facial expressions. That's gonna be annoying sometimes. Right. Reaching up, I feel a smile on my lips and try not to show my surprise. I haven't smiled this much in years. For just a moment, part of me tries to believe that everyone was right when they said I was crazy, and that Jason tone deaf and my escape are all part of some hallucination. But the other part of me knows that can't be right. This kind of happy doesn't come from any sort of delusion. I hold up my new smartphone. So, do you think it'd be safe to text Avery? It's been a full week since I left, which should mean it's safe to contact her directly. I'm sure my dad has already questioned her, and at this point he's probably given up on getting answers out of her. I know there's still a chance contacting Avery could get her in trouble, but just staring at her number makes my chest hurt. I can't leave her to panic over me any longer. It just wouldn't be right. He shakes his head and sighs. It's probably not a good idea. If anyone figured out you were texting her, it would be too easy to track you from that phone. Oh, I try to keep the disappointment on my voice, but I'm pretty sure I fail. Jace fishes into his pocket and pulls out a small, cheap looking phone. But I thought you might want to talk to her. So Killer had the idea of getting this one too. He hands the other phone to me, and I brush my fingers over the fancy keypad, trying not to let any confusion show on my face. It's not like I'm expecting Jace to spend a lot of money on me, but this is a strange contrast to the smartphone. Killer taps my shoulder, gaining my attention. It's a disposable phone. It's a disposable cell phone, he thinks. Totally untraceable. You can text your friends using it, and as long as you don't say where you are, no one can use it to find you. It feels like a much better present than a smartphone. Thank you, I say to Taylor, but I turn and grin at face. I totally owe you. He shrugs, but he looks away for a moment. I know he's hiding a smile. You don't owe me any. You don't owe me anything. Sigh. I see he types back. You're obviously close to your friend. You should be able to talk to her whether you're on the road or not. Whether you're on the road or not. I know it's fine. It means a lot. Thanks. Before the moment can get any more sentimental, Jace nods toward the exit as the RV and edges the pool. Come on, he says. I was going to be pissed if you're late. Taylor heads toward the door and says over his shoulder to me, you still young, darling. I'll see you later. Jace pulls me back into a quick hug and says, I'll be back this evening, okay? Have fun, I say. Oh, no. He's not gone yet. He kisses the top of my head and points to my phone. You too. I smile at his back as he strides out the door. The moment they're gone, I sit on one of the couches and flip open my disposable phone. Taking a shaky breath, I quickly enter in Avery's number and start typing in a message. How mad is she going to be? I've had a perfectly good reason for not contacting him directly, which, with my dad's experience as a cop, it's not too likely. It's just too likely that he'd find a way to fish info from Avery. Despite that, I can't even imagine how upset she is right now. I make my task simple. Hey. The reply comes only seconds later. Whoever you are, you'd better have a good reason for waking me up this early. It's Allie. Oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm safe. Are you sure? Positive. There's a slight lag after that, and I know she's coming. Then the phone buzzes with a new text. Where are you? I laugh a little. The truth is so bizarre. I don't think she believe it. But it's not like I can tell her anyway. Someone's safe. I text back. Where? I can't say. Tell me, dang it. I'm safe. That's all I can tell you. I wish I could say more, but it could get us both in trouble. An entire minute passes without a reply from Avery. I start to feel dizzy, and I realize I'm holding my breath. I let it out in a whoosh just as another text comes in. You freaking ran away without warning. Without warning me or letting me help. What the frick? I didn't have a choice. There's another leg, Ben. I know. That's the only reason I'm gonna forgive you. I bite my lip. Really? Of course, Ellie. You're my bestie. I love you too much to hate you. I can't get over how many like twos she's using and fours, like the actual number. I just think it's very funny. I read her text 4 times. Relief spreads through me. I love you too. I text back. You'd better. Now I need an update on your life. Tell me everything you can. I need to hear about you too. I miss you so freaking much. It hurts. Me too. Now spill. What's going on? I tell her as much as I can that I'm traveling somewhere that I'm protected and that I'm happier than I've been in a long time. At first, her responses are short, and I can tell she's still upset at me for keeping so much from her. But by the time I get to the part about maybe kind of sort of falling for a guy, she replies with a bunch of OMGs and smileys. After that, the conversation flows just as easily as normal. The timestamp on the text is that we talked for 3 hours, but I swear it's only 3 minutes. Avery fills me in on the details of the search my dad has launched for me. She says he's exhausted all the local police sources, but he still has no idea where I might have gone. Or at least settles in me as I read that. If my dad's search has been so useless, hopefully he'll get back soon. Hopefully he can still hear me. We're on the subject of Jace again, then I glance at the phone's clock. It's already 11 o'clock and it's Saturday. I sigh, realizing what that means. You have work today, right? I text. I can practically hear her pain in her voice. Yes, dang you for reminding me. I can't help but laugh a little. I guess that's one good thing about being on the run. I don't have to worry about dealing with crappy summer job. With a crappy summer job, like the one Avery got waitressing at a local cafe. TTYL, I text back. Bye. Yeah, bye. A moment later, another text pops up. Love you, be safe, and hug your mysterious crush for me. Then remind him I'll chop off his balls if he hurts you. And then she sends a winky face. It sounds so bad after that. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. I just think she's such a funny. She seems like this sweet girl, but then she's like that total baddie behind all the little cuteness. I don't know why I did that because, Well, let's just continue. I smile and lean back on the couch, closing my eyes. I probably should be going stir crazy, having been cooped up in this RV for so long. But I'm not anymore. Things may be cramped in here, but everything is comfortable and slightly insane and strangely enjoyable. Something taps my knee and I snap my eyes open. John stands in front of the couch, his head tilted to the side as he stares down at me. I swallow hard as this instinctual fear streaks through my veins, but I push it away with a deep breath. If Jace trusts John, then I can too. Hey, I said, I didn't see you come in. He nods a brooding. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I can tell by the way his lips move that his voice is almost a whisper. He looks hesitant, his face shuffling a little, then he backs up a few paces. No, it's fine, I say. We stare at each other for an awkward moment, but then John backs up and sits on the opposite couch. His muscular frame feels most of it, and as he tosses his arm over the back, I catch another glimpse of his tattoos. They're beautiful. Even if I'm not quite sure what they mean, one is a panther running up his bicep, another of a one is a panther running up his bicep, another of a blood-red sparrow flying toward his heart. Why did you say his heart? What is that? Oh, okay. He has at least half a dozen more on his arm, each one as intricate and as breathtaking. Oh, as intricate as it is breathtaking. He raises an eyebrow at me and I realize an intense stare. They're gorgeous, I say, gesturing his arm. John laughs, his pale lips curling up at the corners. Thanks, it's not every day you get called gorgeous. Like Chicks, I repeat and I shake my head. Tattoos, I mean. They're gorgeous. I didn't mean you're gorgeous, but I don't mean you're not. You're like handsome, and I trail off, giving up on my babbling response. His smile goes away. It's okay, Allie, he says. I get what you're saying. I was just teasing. I can't with his voice. Somehow it doesn't seem fitting for him to be teasing. He's at least 6 feet tall and has enough muscle for two people. But it's not like his physique that's intimidating. There's something about his expression that's totally serious. Like he's never heard a joke in his life. I wonder what his story is. And as long as I'm wondering, I'd like to know the story behind all the band. Tone Deaf has always kept their private lives kept quiet private lives, and as much as the media goes crazy over them, no one has been able to dig up much about their past. All I know is that they rose into popularity after winning a nationwide contest for one of their music videos. Aside from that, their past is a mystery to me, and I don't think even their most hardcore fans know much more. I don't even know how many. This is a long chapter. Okay. John shifts nervously, and I get the feeling he's not comfortable around me. Why? I hardly know the guy. Jace asked me to keep you company, he says. He was worried you'd get lonely being by yourself all day. I search for any trace of mocking in his expression. Most guys would start cracking jokes the moment their friend got all sentimental. But John doesn't seem to have any issues with Jace's concern. John's serious expression remains in place, and I offer him a small smile. Thanks, I say. I appreciate it. He shrugs like it's no big deal, but I can see the tension in his shoulders. Something's definitely bothering him. Are you okay? I ask. He nods. Fine. You sure? Yeah, I'm just. He lets out a hesitant laugh. I'm shy, around girls. I give him a skeptical look and wait for the punchline, but he just smiles a little sheepishly and shrugs again. That's the moment I decide I like John. Well, thanks for keeping me company, I say. No problem. There's an awkward silence, and then John looks towards Jace's bedroom. His expression turns puzzled, and he says something, but I can only see half his lips and his head with his head turned like that. I quickly pick up the smartphone, open up the contacts page, tapping on the number that Chase programmed in under John's name. I start a new texting thread and send a quick message. Can you text me so I don't have to read your lips? It gets tiring pretty quickly. It's not bad with someone like Killer who boldly enunciates every word he says, but John's voice is soft, and he keeps nervously glancing away when he speaks, which is going to make a lip-reading conversation difficult. John nods a couple times as he reads the message on his screen, and I swear he looks a little relieved that he doesn't have to talk anymore. Then he texts back. Sure, I was just asking why Cuddles is locked in Jace's room. She's scratching at the door. I'm scared of dogs, I text, his eyes wide in surprise. You scared of Cuddles? I don't think she lives up to her name. He shakes his head. Trust me, she does. She's just a big wuss. I'm just can't with his voice. Before I can protest, he jumps up and heads down the hallway. Vibrations run through the floor as he opens Jason's door and unleashes the pit bull. I scoot closer to the corner of the couch and tuck my feet close to me. This is what you're supposed to do to stop a dog attack, right? Like small and helpless? Or is that for bears? Before I can figure it out, John comes back in the room with Cuddles at his heels. Her stub of a tail wags madly, and she keeps slurping his hand with her long tongue. Ew, that sounds gross. He doesn't seem to even mind that she's taste testing him. Taste testing him. John sits back on the couch and Cuddles finally notices me. Her muscles tense, ready to pounce. I squeeze my eyes closed so this is it. After making hundreds of miles from my home, I'm going to be mauled by a dog before I can reach NYC. Just my luck. My heart thuds wildly in my chest and my breathing comes in sharp gasps. A large weight dips the couch next to me. But a moment passes and no teeth dig into my skin. I crack open an eye and find Cuddles on the cushion next to me. She's lying on her back, her stubbed tail wiggling in excitement, and her paws curled toward her stomach. I scoot away from her and glare over at John, wondering what his problem is. He so didn't have to let the dog out. John rolls his eyes at my expression and then quickly blushes like he's afraid of being rude. A new message lights up on my phone. She wants a tummy rub. Tummy rub. No, I say out loud, not wanting to type my response. Any movement might be enough to set this dog off. He frowns. No, I don't like big dogs, and I definitely don't pet them. His expression is slightly appalled. But she's so cute. How can you not love her? Okay, I'll admit that those are the last words I expected to come out of his mouth. Who would have guessed the Hulk was so sentimental? John cocks his head as he examines me and then sends another message. You've been attacked, haven't you? I cringe and search for a defensive retort to snap back at him. Then I see his gaze flick over to Cuddles, and I realize he's talking about a dog attack. Oh, that changes things a bit. Yeah, I text, moving my hands slowly and carefully as I type the word. Cuddles doesn't seem to care about my motions, so I add, when I was 12, my neighbor had a pit bull that escaped from her yard. I tried to catch it so I could bring it back, but it freaked out and bit my arm. I don't tell him about my real wound, how it was one of the first times I saw my dad's PTSD totally take over, how the sight of blood had made him go silent and brooding, and how he wouldn't even go back into the examination room when the ER doctor stitched me up. He never really talked about my injury. He just gave me a long lecture about not provoking animals. To this day, those wounds still haven't healed. John nods slowly. I can see you're afraid of dogs. I wait for him to get up and put Cuddles away, but instead he just adds, but that's no excuse to be scared of Cuddles. I scoff and edge back from the gigantic dog. Oh, really? He pats the cushion next to him and Cuddles leaps off my couch. She trots over to John and jumps up next to him, rolling back over for a tummy rub. Her tail wags frantically as John scratches her stomach, and she reaches out a paw so it touches his shoulder. He pats her paw and says to me, Here, have a look. John rolls Cuddles over a little, so she's on her side. From this angle, I can see a mass of scars running up and down the dog's hide. She belonged to one of Jace's neighbors, John texts, using one hand to type and the other to pet Cuddles. They were into dogfighting, and poor Cuddles lost a match. John lifts up the dog's giant head, and I see a bunch more scars around her neck. I swallow hard, trying to keep bile from rising up. That's just sick. Vicious or not, no animal deserves to be hurt like that. Or human. She doesn't say that, but no human deserves to be hurt like that either. John lets Cuddles' head drop and he gently scratches behind one of her cropped ears. She opens her mouth and I wait for her to bite at John's hand, but she just lets her tongue loll out and pants happily as he pets her. Jace found her a couple days later, he texts. She managed to escape before she was killed, and she ended up in his yard. Jace had been saving up all year to buy a new guitar, but he decided to use the money to take her to the vet instead. He pats Cuddles on the head, and Jace has had her ever since. So Jace saved her, I murmured. John nods. He's not always a good guy, but he has his moments. He's been good to me. I protest. A slight smile lifts John's lips. He has, hasn't he? You seem to take all the bad out of him. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that, but I'm safe from having to respond when John's phone lights up with a message from someone else. He reads it and stands from the couch. Sorry, but I've got to go. He texts. He hesitates and adds, Tony wants to talk to me. I think he's getting really suspicious that Jace is up to something. So you two need to keep being careful, okay? It's only been a week. That's crazy. They expect it to last 4 months. Of course, I type back and keep my eyes locked on my screen so John can't see the worry on my face. I guess I'll see you later. Yeah, later. He heads for the door, not making a move to put Cuddles away. Before I can protest, he waves at me and strides out the exit. I groan and let my head fall back, all the time keeping an eye on Cuddles. She wags her tail and jumps onto the couch cushion right next to me. I stiffen, wondering how hard it would be to put her away myself. She's trained, right? Maybe she knows a command that will make her go away. I point to Jace's bedroom and said, Go. She cocks her head and just stares at me. I take a shuddering breath and say it with more force. Go! Cuddles barks at me, but doesn't do anything else. Then she opens her mouth in a huge yawn, announcing to me that she has extremely large teeth and is very tired. Without any warning, she plops her head in my lap and closes her eyes. I freeze, not knowing what to do. If I shove her off, she could get mad, but I can't just let her stay here. No way is a pit bull using me as a pillow. Cuddles reaches toward me with a paw and gently lays it on my knee. She keeps it there, her huge paw pressing against my fragile skin. I cringe and wait for her to claw me, but all she does is start to snore, the deep noise vibrating against my leg. Before I can think better, I reach down and tentatively pat her head. Her tail wags in her sleep and her paw presses against me a little harder, but she doesn't react beyond that. I keep petting her all the time, ready to leap up and run if I need to, but a minute passes and then 2, and Cuddles just continues her nap. Hey girl, I whisper, stroking her soft fur around her ear. I guess you're not as vicious as I thought. She shifts in her sleep and keeps snoring. I scratch her neck and then softly ask, You want to be friends? I promise to give you tummy rubs if you promise not to eat me. My voice must be a little louder than I wanted it, because Cuddles blinks her eyes open and peers at me. After a moment, she licks my hand and closes her eyes, her tail still slowly wagging in her sleep. I give her head another pat and gently trace one of the scars on her shoulder. Yeah, that's what I thought, I murmur. We're going to be besties before you know it. That is the end, and I know that was super long, so I'm glad you guys buckled down and listened to that. Obviously, you can stop at any time you want and go do something else and start it later. Anyway, again, that was Tone Deaf by Olivia Rivers. So glad that you guys joined me, and I'm really hoping that the audio is good because half an hour is a lot to redo. So, anyway, thank you guys. I really enjoy reading to you, so please join the family. We're going to have a lot of books out here. I mean, by next year, we should have, like, a bunch of Nancy Drew books done. Probably Mysterious Benedict Society. Just a bunch of books. They should be completed. I'm just glad that you guys are here for these, and thank you again for joining me. Ciao for now. See you guys next time for chapter 26 from Allie's perspective, or see you for a different book that you're listening to. Bye, guys.